do have a number of questions. We have quite a few on PayPal and Meta, surprise, surprise. And we actually have completely opposite questions. So I'm going to ask you one question, but it's two different answers.
You're going to do the answers as well, Peter. You do the answers too.
So one half of the question is, given the valuation decline, should you be adding more? And the other side of the question is, if the fundamentals are so bad, have you considered selling?
Yeah. Okay. With regard to the valuation decline and adding more, I am disinclined to add more at the moment in either of them. By the way, I don't think I said the fundamentals are bad. What I said was, I think in the case of PayPal, I think there have been some management missteps that the management have shown themselves to be not able to grasp increased engagement with the increased number of users that they got from the pandemic, and that they've actually been too focused on this thing about getting more up the funnel to get more input in terms of bidding, potentially bidding for Pinterest and things like that, and that's unnerved people, and their cost control's not been great. So there's a number of ding. And the fundamentals are terrible by any means. I think this company is probably going to finish the year growing at 15% at least, maybe a bit more. So I'm not sure that the fundamentals are that bad, with quite an adequate return on capital. So I'm not sure it's that bad. But, I'm not inclined to add to it when the management have, in my view, made some mistakes. And by the way, I don't think it's the end of the world if management make mistakes. I make plenty of them, and so on. The main thing about making mistakes is, what did you learn? And what are you going to do differently because you made a mistake? And what I would say in answer on the PayPal one is, we have a heavy level of engagement at the moment to try and satisfy ourselves whether or not the okay fundamentals are combined with a management which has learned something, and therefore it might be worthwhile buying more, but not until we've actually become satisfied about that, I must say. In regard to Meta, I'm not sure what the fundamentals are. I think the main problems of Meta are not born of fundamentals. They're born of regulatory action stroke noise, and this rather large investment which they've announced in a new line of engagement with people in terms of the metaverse. And I guess with regard to the latter, we are uncertain what it means. I mean, one might even be uncertain what the metaverse is, but I think we're beginning to get greater insight into it, partly because they're not the only person engaged in trying to develop it. But what we're not clear about is what we're going to get out of it. I mean, if Meta were sitting there with just their digital advertising business, which did about $117 billion of revenue in the last full year, with an operating profit margin of 40% or something like that, if they only had that, I would probably be in there buying more right now. But it's not all they have right now. They've got this other investment, which we've got to try and weigh in the balance, which wasn't part of what we bought into in the first place. So I don't think the fundamentals are getting better at Meta, by the way, because they are in a, not quite a duopoly, but nearly a duopoly with Alphabet in online advertising. And I would have thought the online advertising market is going to go through a cyclical downturn now, along with most everything else. So it's not the fundamentals are terrific, but I don't think they're particularly bad. We'll let you know when we get some figures out of them. It's just I don't know about this other thing that they're doing and what its economics are at the moment. The $10 billion they talked about spending on it, I don't know whether it's actually going to be $10 billion, and I don't know how many other people are going to be spending on it. I know some people who've sort of thrown their hat in the ring who say they will, but there's some who are notoriously quiet, like Apple at the moment. So I don't know how many people are going to be playing in here. I don't know how many, if any, winners we're going to have, and what the shape of the revenue and profit opportunity will be. So it's got a higher level of uncertainty than would lead me to invest more at the moment. And actually a higher level of uncertainty than I like dealing with in companies, to be blunt.
Thanks, Terry. More generally on tech